Good morning. This is Private Friend Incorporated, Mrs. JJ Diamond. A lot of you know me by Jacqueline Richardson, Jackie Deja. This morning I want to talk about Charlotte. There's a lot of successful black men here in Charlotte. And I want to salute you guys for working hard and becoming successful. But I have a problem. And that problem is you have a lot of youth in Charlotte without father figures. So I want to challenge these black successful men to take on one youth, not 5, not 10, because you can't give them all the equal love. To take on one youth and love him and teach him what a man is supposed to be. Now, I wouldn't ask y'all to do something that I haven't done already myself. I grew up without a father figure. I was a child of abuse, a woman of domestic violence. My father wasn't in my life. I thank God now that my father is in my life. However, I went years upon years upon years without him being there. And I wasn't able to get the love that I needed to be successful in certain things. However, I was successful with other things in my life. And with that being said, other people that were like me, meaning girls or females that went through what I went through or was going through similar things as I was going through, I took them in and I helped them. And now I have a nonprofit called Private Friend Incorporated because I named it Private Friend Incorporated because my aunt and my cousin, my older cousin, when I was in foster care, they pulled me into their home and made me a part of their private family. And they became my private friends. And that's one of the reasons why I named the nonprofit Private Friend Incorporated. And I'm going to give some love to my aunt, Alice Rodriguez and Lawana Rodriguez. Those were the ones that took me in as a child and helped me gain stability, taught me love, and gave me insight on life. God bless them. They're both dead right now. But without them, I don't know where I would be today. With that being said, sometimes it takes 2 and 3 people to raise a child. And it's hard for communities to raise children by themselves. However, that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. The saying is true, because my community, without them, I don't know what I would do with my grandson. My grandson has been with me for many, many years. I lost my house back in Maryland when I lost my job. And the community of Maryland, they helped me as much as they possibly could. Shout out to all of the fellas that, stepped in as a father figure in Maryland. And here in Charlotte, we haven't really had that yet. But the thing with being a father figure for a child, it's not running, being there, dealing with them as if they were your problem, and like I said, fellas here in Charlotte, I'm not asking you guys to do something that I haven't already done, as a woman. I taken a lot of pain watching these young black kids today fall apart because they just need love, and guidance, and they need to learn the right way to live, and you can't do something if you don't know, Now, I'm a woman, and I try to teach these black brothers, and black youth how to live. But, they say, oh, she's older, she doesn't understand. She doesn't know, what we go through. I've been there, but they don't understand that it comes a time in your life where certain things has to be let go in order for you to succeed. So coming from men, it's a little bit easier for them to understand. But a lot of these guys need that one-on-one love so they can get it, Now, with me, I did the females, up in Buffalo. I had one that I brought from New York to Buffalo and gave her as much guidance as I possibly could because I was young and still learning myself. However, she turned out to be a very decent person. I can't complain, and there's a couple of others that turned out to be okay. They still have problems. Everybody has problems. That's just part of life. And I'm working with the younger ones now, the little ones like 5 all the way up to maybe 12, I think. And just doing things with them and teaching them, giving them guidance, things that their parents may not even know. Sometimes, we're brought up and parents forget to teach us certain things, and it's not our fault, but if they can gain that knowledge somewhere else, it becomes a blessing. I thank God for all the people that I grew up around on Cortland Avenue. Like, I have a song called Where I Come From. And the reason why I saluted Cortland Avenue with that song is because I learned so much from the people. I was around millions of people in one area, in a 5-mile radius, and, people think I'm joking or lying when I say this, but it's the truth. We had over 5, 6 different project buildings that stand from 1 to 14, some of them, and some went all the way up to the 27th floor, and they have like 10 apartments on every floor. So you do the math, and when you finish counting, let me know. And like I said, millions of people in a 5-block radius, and you gain knowledge from each and every individual that you touch base with, especially in their homes, because everybody was raised differently. And then you got those that were raised the same. However, living that life taught me a lot, and I'm glad that I experienced to live on Cortland Avenue because I was able to deal with so many people, and by me dealing with them was able to teach me how to come out here in the world and survive, so big up to Cortland Avenue and all the mothers and fathers that was out there. Even though it was a poor community, there was a lot of rich love, and I say that to say that even though we lived around and in the projects, we were happy. We went through a lot, but we found a way to make ourselves happy and safe. And a lot of people came out of there and around that neighborhood being successful. However, I was one of the ones that was able to come out successful and build a nonprofit from the ground based on what I was taught on Cortland. And what I was taught this throughout my life, period, and the things that I went through, and I'm able to voice that and, and give back, not just to the community, but to the world, so I'm so proud to, to tell people that this is where I come from, I feel blessed. You know, a lot of people don't get it, but, you know, that's not for you to get. You know, it was God's plan. But with all of that being said, Charlotte, I see some things here, you know, that y'all need to work on. A lot of things, you know, especially when it comes to these youth. You know, we got to get it together, and this is where I live. So of course I'm going to tell y'all what I see. You know, that's just who I am. You know, we got to do better. You know, I work hard every day working with these little kids. You know, they wear me out. Sometimes I got to sleep for 2 days. You know, they just wear me out. You know, it is what it is, though, because I'm doing it for a good cause. But then God gives me my rest so I can get back up and do it again. You know, we got to teach. We got to teach these kids what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do, and why. You know, they think we just telling them because we're grown. We're just saying, no, you're not supposed to do that because you're not grown. We got to explain to them why you're not supposed to do it. It has nothing to do with being grown. It has to do with your life and where you're going to be 5 to 10 years from now. You know, I just want to challenge the successful brothers. I meet a lot of successful black men here in Charlotte. I'm just so proud of you guys, you know, when I see y'all, you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, big bosses, judges, you know, and I'm so proud to see that y'all working, you know, and y'all doing the thing, you know, and y'all need to instill that into other black men and black youth. You know, help them, you know, gain the knowledge that they need to build families, you know, because that's what life is about. Working to become successful, to gain something, you know, and most of us gain families. That's what we love and that's what we take care of. You know, that's why we do it. So we don't want these youths out here killing themselves, getting in trouble, going to jail. You know, they got kids, you know, some don't have kids yet, but some do have kids, and they don't know which way to turn, you know, when they have to survive. So with that being said, we as their peers and older, you know, they're the older people around them, we have to teach. We have to, you know, guide them, you know, give them help when they need it, you know, financially. And this is why I'm challenging y'all. One kid, you know, y'all don't have to take on 4 and 5 kids and try to train them, because you're always going to have one that's going to spoil out, you know, the bunch of them. So y'all need to pick one kid and dedicate yourselves to that one kid. And say, hey, you know, I'm going to love you and we're going to work together until you get it right. You know, I had one guy, big up to Maryland, that was helping me with my grandson. And however, you know, he had some issues that he was trying to fight, you know, and it hurt me so bad that he fell behind because they was a good match. You know, my grandson loved him so much, you know. However, you know, problems in our lives sometimes pull us back. But, you know, we need to learn as adults that sometimes we have to sit back and look at our lives and say, okay, well, I don't want to go that route so I can continue to be this leader for this child. You know, like people say, hey, Jackie, you know, why you don't do this? Why you don't do that? Because I'm a leader. I cannot do these things because I have to continue to lead. And if you want a child to pay attention to how you live and what you do and being a voice for them, how can you be out here doing negative? You just can't do it, you know? So this is why I don't do a lot of the things that, you know, other people are doing. You know, it's just not my calling, you know, so I stay pretty much clean, you know, and I do it for the kids, you know, that's what I do, you know. I'm going to get on a second podcast in just a moment and finish up. Thank you for listening. This is Miss JJ, Private Friend Incorporated.